Now, the rest of the story.
Alright, welcome back to the rest of the story. I'm going to answer a question about our grain drill really quick because, well, it's a good question. That's something that I just never really think of because the world is so vast and everybody does everything different all around the world. So, the question is, why does our grain drill not have marker arms on it? You know, like the corn planter or anything else like that, so we know where we should be driving in relation to our last pass. Well, to be honest with you, in my life, I have seen in this area, I literally have seen one grain drill with marker arms on it. They're just not something that really caught on around here, not something that, well, and the long and the short of it, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but the long and the short of it is when it comes to seeding hay, oats is a cover crop, and basically all your grain drill is, it's just pretty well spreading your alfalfa seed so you can have an alfalfa crop or get an alfalfa crop started. When it comes to a grain drill, if you guys saw, I'm not even sure which video it is anymore, but the video where I was seeding with the 7600, believe it or not, it was actually easier to seed with the 76 than it was with the 4020 because of the tire spacing on the 76. That's how my dad grandpa back in the day, used as a marker arm system to know where they should be driving, because the 76 is set up for wider inch rows. I think it's set for like 38 inch rows. I mean, it's irrelevant, but they're set for wider tracking. All of our tractors used to be the 76, 7400, 4440, 4430, 4230, 2955, all three 4020s, and I don't know what the H was set up on because I never really saw the H run by the time I got around. But when they were set up wider like that, once you made a pass with the grain drill, just for how everything is set up and the tires and everything, when you make a pass, you can still see your tire track in the freshly turned seed bed prepped ground, clear as day, even in the rougher stuff. I mean, if it didn't work up the best, because depending on soil types, these tires leave a pretty clear tire track for you to follow. And exactly what we used to do, we were driving our tire right on this tire track. Now what it did is it put this outside row I was actually probably overlapping it, but I was actually running it so this outside row was on top of the last pass, or the last row that we did. So I did have a little bit of overlap, completely irrelevant because the oats mean nothing to us. What really mattered was the hay seed and getting the hay completely covered across that whole field. I mean, that's a 25-acre field. I don't want to see a bunch of streaks and skip rows and misses in it. And if you guys want to see, this is how much alfalfa I had left the other night. Yep, pink treated alfalfa seed. The hassle with these grain drills that I always had with this one, we had the exact same type of grain drill growing up. This isn't the same one we had. We found this one up north for like a few $100, and it works like a gem, at least, you know, for what we do. And you can see on the outside ends here, whoops, you always seem to run out of alfalfa seed on the ends. I think it's just from bouncing across the field. It just naturally just kind of shakes its way towards the center, because even on the outside there, or the inside, these are a little bit lower. And you gotta remember, I bouncing around coming home too. So I gotta remember to shut these up. It's been a nasty spring. If you guys don't know that already, it has been a pretty ugly spring. I don't have hardly any, if any, real planting videos that I could have done. And I don't feel all that bad about it. I mean, I do, but I know everybody understands. It seems like it's a pretty common theme From the handful of channels that I'm watching, it's not even really a handful. Okay guys, I think it's pretty common knowledge. I don't watch a whole lot of other ag channels. When I farm all day myself, there's a few people that I tune into just because I'm on pretty good terms with them, and I just kind of like to keep up with what everybody else is doing. And just sifting through, like you're seeing it in, like on the side there, didn't really film, couldn't film, had to work, had to get in the field. That was really me. I had my camera for the most part. Actually, I lost this whole, my microphone and everything. I lost this for like 2 days. So that's why I had the cell phone videos that I had. But getting away from the grain drill markers. Marker arms would help, but they are not a sure thing. When you do know that the tires work, or using your tire track works as well as it does, I just don't see much point in having marker arms on it, because it's just one more thing to potentially bust on it. Hydraulic cylinders, or the brackets, the mounts that you have to watch so you know where you're supposed to be. Remembering to set the thing down seems like a pretty simple process, a pretty simple task. Well, I gotta tell you, even running the planter, it's pretty easy to forget to put the marker arm down until you're about halfway across the field. Same thing with the corn planter as it is with this. Granted, I'm not watching my corn planter pass, like where the tires were, to know where I should be driving, but we've run this 12 row we have long enough now that I can actually, with forgetting to do the marker arms or putting the marker arms down, I'm actually pretty good at gauging from where I'm at in the seat and looking out across the bottom bracket below the marker arms, and I can gauge off of that from my last pass to end up really close to the 30 inches apart from my last pass to be pretty accurate. The grain drill, I have not seen any of that new seating come up yet. We did drive by it a little bit earlier. That field looks awesome. I mean, yes, there's nothing coming up in it yet, but just driving by it from the road, going 30 miles an hour because we were looking across the whole thing. The seed and everything, the seeding looks really nice. Mom did an awesome job getting it harrowed out. For the rain that we got, I think the rain helped settle the dust, settle the dirt, and definitely got it growing. So hopefully here, especially now that we're getting in the 60s, 70s, it's supposed to tickle 80s here in the next couple days, as long as it doesn't turn that ground into concrete on top, which is a very real concern for me every single year. Depends on who you are. I know some people that really don't worry about it anymore, probably because they've never experienced the crusting issues that you can have from planting in maybe, well, it's not even your planting conditions. If you get done planting and you get a really hard pounding rain, which is what we've had, and then the sun comes out, gets real hot and humid, nasty, and it bakes that soil, you're going to get a piece of concrete across the whole field, and then you got to worry about whether or not your seed's going to come out of the ground. It's happened to me twice. It sucks. I don't want to do it. I absolutely hate having to replant. And the couple of times here in the last, it was 2 and 3 years ago on no-till ground that I actually had to go through and replant. And I really would hate to have to do that again. It wasn't enjoyable. So I hope I answered anybody's questions about the marker arms. Really, they're just not needed. Depends on the other style of grain drills. The style that I did see with the marker arms on it, was, well, for those of you that watch Wes, it was on the same drill he had marker arms on it. It looked like they were aftermarket. That is the type of grain drill I saw with the marker arms on it. And anymore nowadays, now that technology is gradually starting to make its way across the country and kind of creeping its way into farmers' operations, I'd be completely honest with you, the way GPS is going, just a simple auto track guidance system, as much as I hated them growing up, because that's not farming if you're not running the steering wheel. I was right there with everybody before we actually started using RTK and auto track. You wouldn't need an RTK signal to grain, like to put in oats or to seed, but just do a little bit of overlap, which is what we did. And you could have some nice straight back and forth rows. I mean, some people don't care. Some people like the zigzags and stuff like that, that it just doesn't bother them. It doesn't bother me to a certain degree, but it is nice knowing that your efficiency level is definitely there. You're not making any deadheads, or deadheading as far as not having your implement in the ground and you're having to drive to the other end of the field to miss or to hit a 10-foot swath just because you didn't hit it right. So technology like that is making marker arms pretty well obsolete, especially on corn planters and a lot of these operations. A lot of people ask us why we use the marker arms on ours. I use them just for that exact reason. It is nice to know where I should be dropping back in with corn planter, even using the guidance. So, all right, I got to get going on to the next thing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Take it easy. Keep in touch. And no, we aren't done planting quite yet. So you guys still have a chance of getting some more planting videos. So.